Hello everybody and welcome back to Wanted, Dead or Alive, our Savage Worlds Adventure Edition Western RPG. So it's great to have you all back again. It's always awesome to play with this crew and I'm looking forward to getting right into this. So before we do, a couple things to cover. So we'll be doing a recap, we'll be going around and introducing everybody. But before that, we've had a bit of fan art come in, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just wanting to show off that today. So Jonny Six Shot. Are you ready for your fan art?
Yeah.
All right, you hyped, you ready? Okay, cool. You're smiling. That's what's counting. So, okay, cool. So the brilliant As Told by PB in our chat has done this, which is amazing. And here we go. If you check out the stream page right now, Jonny, it's going to go up in just a second. And there we go.
I'm so hyped.
That's our good old.
Oh my goodness!
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Fire in the background from your dynamite. It's awesome.
Oh my
Absolutely loving it.
I love it.
All right.
Cool guys, don't look at
That
explosions.
horse, man.
That's badass.
Yeah,
That's
horse.
Black Mustang.
Yeah, that's Black Mustang. We've got some official art of them now. But yeah, so once again, thank you for As Told by PB. That's awesome stuff. Absolutely love it. And just wanted to show that before we started. So thank you so much. And yeah, there we go. We have some more good old Jonny Six Shot artwork in there. So after that, let's go around. So we'll go around, introduce yourselves, then we'll do a recap. So we'll start the same way as usual. We'll go straight away with Morgan. Could you let us know who you are, tell us a little bit about your character, and then we'll get right into it.
Right. Well, I'm Laura Lark, and I'm playing Morgan Branwyn, the very dead inside but alive on the outside outlaw turned outlaw. She's not looking forward to this session, folks.
No, definitely not. I can imagine why you're not, but we'll see where that goes. You got a lot of traveling and thinking to do. And Dr. Snips.
Pleasure as always. I am Simon, 5 rounds more, and I'm playing Phineas Sterling, otherwise known by the moniker Dr. Snips, barber and surgeon.
Brilliant. And Mordecai.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rocksteady, and I'm going to be playing Mordecai Taylor. A man hell-bent on revenge, and very much looking forward to this session. I can tell you that.
Definitely. And finally, last but not least, Jonny Six Shot, the man of the hour.
Oh, hello, everybody. Gene over here playing Johnny. I have my hat on today. And I'm looking forward to this session.
Brilliant stuff. So
The hat is beautiful.
the hat is amazing. I'm really happy to finally see it on as well. Episode 3, we've got hats on the go. It's good stuff. Right then, so last session, our gang finally put in motion their plan. They went and did a heist on the bank, and they managed to find what they were after. They stopped the cart perfectly. Not much went wrong there. Dr. Snip's knife sailed through the air and absolutely horrifically destroyed a man. In almost one hit, and they took it out very smoothly. The entire job went smoothly, in fact. Mostly, at least. When they got into the bank, they found the papers they were after, and Mordecai discovered exactly what they were. On top of that, Morgan discovered that Mordecai is being hunted, and that those people are very, very close by. Dr. Snips had an amazing barber off, which he won, stylishly so, and took a very good humility with it all. He was very nice about his win, and he discussed some more things with the barber of the local area, who discussed that he was the best British barber, but perhaps no longer. And the rest of you put through your plan, stole what you needed, and got the hell out of there. And as you escaped, you discussed what the papers were and exactly what it meant. And you heard that there's a train route that's currently being constructed through the center of a town, a short journey away, a few nights worth and a few days worth of riding away. That if you get there, you'd be able to, for one, stick it to the rail lords, and for two, perhaps get some much needed revenge on people from your past. The small group assembled: Almeida, Morgan, Jonny, Mordecai, Dr. Snips, and your cook. All are the only remaining members as you continue to ride on out. And we come back to all of you. As your horses are kicking up dust, and you've made your way after a long, long day of travel. And you find a nice little outcrop that you can go to. Some grass nearby, not too dusty, Quite an empty area, no lakes nearby, anything like that, but some trees that obscure the vision of the camp a little bit. Almost, you don't have any carts as such anymore to really, set up and have a luxurious stay. You do have some tents, and you can have a fire. And in short time, your friend once again, your cook, is making the meals. The usual familiar scent of beans comes across. As you can see Declan sort of knelt over it, just really putting some love into these beans. He's throwing some chili flakes in, he's stirring it up, he's got some cheese on the side, he's got some bread for you tonight. It's going to be a good feast. And all of you are sat around this fire, each of you having traveled for a while. Hiring day, dry mouths, aching bodies, and just the fire to warm you. And Declan looks around and goes, it's gonna be ready soon, so, there might be a bit of a drink we could have with it, and it'll keep you nice and, hydrated.
I'm already on it, I say as I take a swig of my whiskey.
Yeah, I mean, that's good then. Yeah, alright, he says and kind of looks around at you all. So, sounds like it's going to be very, dangerous. Where you going?
No more or less dangerous than anywhere else in the Wild West.
Well, I mean, that ain't the impression I'm getting by all your dour faces, sir. He looks around the camp and does a few dour faces.
My face is very dour. Thank you.
Well, that's always the case, Declan, but we have had a long ride, and we've yet to taste your fantastic cooking, so...
Well, there is that, sir. I mean, you'll be tasting it in no time at all. It'll be ready. I got some little sausages in there. I got some bread for you all. It's very nice. It was fresh from the town back there before we ran away. You also got some good beans, some barbecue beans today. Pretty good.
Smells lovely.
Should be a good feast, sir. I'm sure you all deserve it. It's been a long day.
I feel like Phineas will be just taking his moment to sharpen his straight razor. Kind of happy with the fact that he easily proved himself the other day.
Oh yeah, easily did.
Taking a minute to look around. Noticing who hasn't had a shave lately. Now that the numbers have been depleted, there's less people.
Yeah, I'm making sure to look extra, I'm gonna straighten up extra when Phineas sorry, looking around, sorry. Just making sure that he doesn't remember the fact that I haven't dealt with my wounds yet.
Okay.
Gun oil, guns, blades, everywhere. Everybody's getting their stuff cleaned. It needs to work. It's gonna go great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll go something like that, says Almeida as he's still nursing his wound, but it's been tended with. It's recovering nicely by now, and he's just keeping it, not working it too much yet. We got, as far as I can see, about maybe another night and day. After that, we'll be right there. So,
Well, we were just hoping we'll get to where we're going before the posse gets there before us. Here I go speaking in riddles again.
I get you. If we get there before, at least we can warn people. We can make sure that everything's fine. We can make sure that we're set up nicely so that when those bastards come through, we'll be able to deal with them.
So that was kind of something of a success, wasn't it? I mean, I'm not missing something. Like we did, we successfully got the gold and the papers, and we're all still standing. Nobody really ended up hurt.
Yeah, only a few people took a few wounds, but you dealt with them nicely. But overall, that was a pretty flawless heist, if I say so myself. Well, there were flaws, but they weren't as big as usual. We did good. We got money. The rest are gonna get out of here. They're gonna go and find Miss Mariah, get their papers, and get out of here. It's only really us that remain here, I imagine, by now.
Still, I can't help shut the feeling that it's a backdoor kind of job. They just left the door open for us to get in there and get everything out. I mean...
Did feel that way.
Guys and Well, 3 guys, including that driver.
Yeah, there's that. But nah, I don't know what to make of it. It was easy, too easy. But,
Exactly.
I'd hasten to add that I feel like we just had very good planning. I think for once we went in with a good attitude and uh, even Jonny created plenty of a distraction, let alone the distraction I ran myself. I mean, that bar was terrible.
explosive.
Like, really, indeed. Like, clearly they hadn't cleaned the floorboards for a while.
Yeah, well, planning's one thing, but when everything's going too well, everything's just set up just right that you can't fail.
And
That's what's messing.
let's not forget that you're being hunted, Mordecai.
Thank you for bringing that back up.
Speaking of haunted, I think there's a few things that we need to cover here. I know some of you at least a bit well, but I don't think we all know enough about each other here. So how about a little fun? We can sit here, we can have a talk, we can eat some beans, drink some booze. And how about you each tell us something about yourselves? Here, I got a phone. We'll decide who goes first with this here deck of cards. He says, and he takes out a deck of cards, a simple poker deck, and deals each of you. And as you all draw your cards, Mordecai, yours comes up first. Alright then. So,
I'm starting to like decks of cards less and less.
yeah, that's what
I
they
just
do
grin
here.
at this, almost. Just like,
So tell us a story, partner.
Okay. Well, I'll do my best to try and lift some spirits. Let's see here. I do some way back when the world almost made sense. You see, one of the reasons I'm so driven by all this, my daddy was a man called Walter Taylor, as I'm pretty sure I must have told at least one of you at some point. He was a lawman, and I'm damn sure be spinning in his grave right now, be seeing what his only boy was doing. But nonetheless, a lawman. Want to do right by folks. Good, strong man. He had his convictions on check. Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't too much of a God-fearing kind of man, but he just knew right from wrong. Tried to bring up me and my brothers and sisters just right and teach us right from wrong too. But when Mr. Massey came through and his wonderful band of people, that all changed. So I left, hit the road for a bit. That's when I met Darlene. But she wanted something I just can't give her. She wanted to settle down, get in a homestead or something, hoping that maybe my sharpshooting skills could have a draw in a crowd of the saloon and make a bit of money that way around, or I could go out tracking and hunting or something, turning some buffalo, maybe not to piss off too many of the locals, or go hunting for buck or something a bit more, I don't know, dangerous. If any of those folks from New York came around and wanted to do a bit of the old adventure vacationing. Yeah, she soon got wise and realized that I weren't enough for settling down too soon, or maybe ever. So she left me with Remingtons on my hips and rifle on my back, stood at a train station. That was a fun time. Hey, Mordecai, just look over there real quick. Next thing I know, I hear some boot stomping and she's on a train and out of town. God damn. Still, after that, I found myself in the Union Army and fell in with some boys that like to ride fast and shoot well. Good old fit. Some good guys. Good guys.
I'm sure. I'm sorry to hear about Dolly.
Well, it happens. There's plenty of Mordecai Taylors out there, but only one Darlene, so she must be doing something good for herself right now.
I wouldn't say there's many of you out there, Mordecai. You're a unique specimen.
You sure about that? Man, pick you one of those fancy pulp magazines from one of those post offices, man. This page to page full of me and them penny dreadfuls. Any guy that, I don't know, shoots good or can bounce a bullet off a tin can 100 paces. I'm damn sure there's plenty of Mordecai Taylors out there just waiting to have this story told. I'm just one man in all this.
There's not many Mordecai Taylors that I've patched up, to be fair.
Oh, I suppose.
And there you go, he's a doctor, he knows what he's talking about, Mordecai, you see. So, who's next? He says, and he kind of looks around. And Dr. Snips, you're next.
Well, as you all know, I tend to keep myself quite to myself, and tend to be a bit of a private man. Always a bit at a loss for words when people want to hear my stories.
In that way.
I suppose there was, with regards to the Civil War, I'm not going to lie, I've been on both sides of it. Not by choice, of course, but by profession. If people find out you're a surgeon, you tend to get dragged into these things very quickly. And the amount of bullets I've pulled out of people, well, I should have kept a tally. That would have been an impressive score sheet, I guess. Most of the time, though, I do try to do my best for people. I don't really like the idea that people should be ruled over, and they should have an opportunity to do what they can. So my thoughts are kind of cast back to my plantation days, back when I was training up to be a barber. Grew up in a very simple house. My mother and father were quite strict colonials. Came over from, I think it was Essex, I'm not sure. Managed to hold on to most of my accent growing up as a child. And just one thing led to another. I ended up seeing to it that most of the individuals on the plantation were looked after. I did my best to go about, see people, and one thing led to another. And as I say, you just pick up skills, I guess, and knowledge. But there was definite good times. There was a few opportunities, and every now and again, especially with regards to, how shall we say, more my union calling, if I could get somebody off the property, I would. And I've never really seen fear in a man's face until that day. Having him in the back of my cart as I'm going about my rounds, and getting him to the docks so quietly and so well. I can almost remember the need to draw the knife on the man who spotted him. Like not to think much about those things, you know? Just tend to have to do them. But it was a victory for them, and it was a victory for me.
Well, that's something. I'm sure you did the right thing. I mean, you're a doctor, right? So you have to. It's kind of something to do with your doctor in training. I don't know what you people do.
Technically, I mean, I am unlicensed, so
Just a piece of paper. I mean, you pulled out many bullets out of us. I'd say you got a license with those. Yeah. Not that that'll get you anywhere in the country, but probably just get you in trouble. But what is
no,
more?
indeed.
Besides, you got a gift. That's a good thing to be using.
Thank you, Mordecai. That means a lot coming from you. I've seen the way you handle a gun.
Well, you got a gift for helping people. And I've got a gift for putting them down.
I mean,
I'd
there
rather
was.
have yours than mine.
I mean, that was the other grim part and aspect of being the barber surgeon of a town. Burying people was always a kind of like an unfortunate aspect.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure you saved more than you buried. You're a good man, Snips. Good man.
Thank you.
Don't know what you're talking about. Sheesh.
That wonderfully fiery hair.
You flatter me,
If you
Doc.
want to jump in the campfire as well, it's your own fire.
I'm also muted. I was miming this entire time. I'm glad you all understood. But it's Morgan's turn next, is all I was saying.
Alright. Well, don't know really what I can say. She looks down at the card and just, well, honestly, there's only one moment in my entire life I was ever proud of myself. Though, looking back, it's a long story. She continues to look at the card. When I was a little girl, before I traveled with a caravan, I lived in this orphanage. Plenty of God-fearing nuns who beat the hell out of a lot of people.
Yeah, I know the type.
And that was okay. When it burned down, I left. Lived with the caravan. Caravan was nice. Real nice, actually. And that's actually all I met Arthur. When he was pointing a gun at every single person I ever grew to care about. So, when I shot that bastard, left him for buzzard food, that's probably the greatest moment of my life. The only thing I've ever done that I haven't regretted. There's many things I've done, but that's the one I'm proud of.
The greatest moment of your life was shooting someone?
Yes. The person that I love the most. Bless his heart, but evil's died in his wool.
Well, goddamn, man, that's some twisted shit.
She like very unconsciously taps the pistol on her side that she's never shot. I know.
Well, I mean, that's...
we know, too.
It's good to know. Remind me to never get closer to you, Miss Morgan. Just in case, you know.
Are you one of the cruelest men alive who'd lie to someone for years?
I mean, I've done my fair share of bad things in my time, Miss Morgan.
I know, but you're still better than Arthur.
Well, I'm not dead.
And his daddy.
Yeah, I'm better than that. Yeah, he says and kind of gives a side eye to Mordecai.
You know Mordecai.
Yes, ma'am.
He took me in originally, before you left. Left the gang to Arthur and I. I remember him. He's the one that led that raid.
Well, it seems we have ourselves some mutual acquaintances.
Seems that way. So, speaking of mutual acquaintances, looks like you're next, Jonny. We don't really know you, so I'm curious to see what you're gonna come up with here. Tell us about yourself.
Well, now, I'm afraid there's not much to say, to be honest.
With a man who walks alongside of the road carrying a sword on one side and a gun on the other, I think you got plenty to say.
With your katana.
Yeah, and this whole Canada thing. I mean, what's that about?
It sounds like some weird version of Canada.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in West Virginia. Never really knew my parents. Grew up in a little tiny orphanage. People were nice, I guess. I was real rowdy, like as any kid is, really. Not much happened where I lived. One day though, there was this man that I saw, real strange, like it was the eyes. Eyes were different. They didn't look like us, and he also had these two swords on him. I remember back then I'd never seen a sword in my life, really. But you can feel when you see these. I tapped the hilt of the katana. You can tell they're not from here.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
There ain't no cavalry sword I ever seen.
So I got real curious. I remember I snuck into. He sat in an old saloon, and I snuck into his room. I just wanted to look at it. I didn't want to steal it. I just wanted to look at it. And I did. That old man found me, though. I think he let me get in that room. When he saw me, I thought I was done for. Yeah, called the cops on me, but he did it. He took me in instead. He said he was looking for pupils. I didn't really know what that meant back then, but any ticket to get out of town was a ticket I was willing to take. I left with them, and when we traveled all sorts of places in the country, I picked up a lot of other kids, and he taught us. He said he was a samurai, some kind of warrior.
Never heard the sword, but seems interesting. Well, good on to get you out of there. So that's where the sword comes from.
That's where the sword comes from. He said they fought with them traditionally, but that it was a dying profession. He just wanted to pass on his skills.
Yeah, we know what it's like to have a dying profession.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Question?
Yeah.
No, I mean, as in dying profession.
Yeah, I mean, it's something like that. Yeah. It's something. Isn't just kind of...
Well, I can drink to that.
Exactly. All right.
Already on it.
All right,
Like-
I guess... I don't really know what to tell, but I guess it's my turn. He says, he kind of looks at his card and just puts it down and takes a big old swig. He goes, you know, all these have been a little bit down.
Depressing?
Depressed, that's the word. Thank you, Miss Morgan. Bit sad. Bit depressing. And I could tell you many stories of sad times that would bring tears to all of your eyes and pain to each of your hearts. But you know what? I ain't gonna do that, because we're about to go to our deaths, maybe. So, how about we talk about what we want, what we desire. Now, there's one thing that I've wanted since I was a kid, and this is like very weird in comparison to all of yours, but I've always wanted to eat a whole hog. Like, I've had bits, right? You get some of it, you get some pork, whatever. It's nice. But I've always wanted to have a whole one, you know? Roasted on a fire, properly prepared, spiced.
I know how to make one.
Well, why don't you hunt one, mister?
I would hunt one, but I'm not very good at hunting. I'll be honest, I'm more of a hunter of people than I am a hunter of animals. I kind of feel bad, you know? I don't mind killing a man when I need to, but shooting like an animal, I just kind of makes me feel a bit
That's
guilty.
true.
I can
Animals
do it,
are
but,
so much better than humans.
I try and
You were
avoid it.
you're telling us you want to eat a whole hog from snout to tail?
Well, not all of it, the good bits. You know what I mean? Like, usually you get
You
the
want
off
spit
cuts.
roast pig?
Yeah.
Just from front to back.
Well,
So
I
you
mean,
want to do
the
so
order,
like
the order
day?
don't matter. You get the good bits first, and then you eat the rest as you go, right? But I'm used to offcuts from where I was from. You see, when I grew up, we used to eat all sorts of stuff that people hunted. And they used to have hogs, but you used to get like scraggly bits, you know, fatty bits. Bits that ain't as good. Never got the good bits.
So if you eat the whole thing, are you gonna eat this in like one sitting in a day, or are you gonna do it a week or something? Or?
I mean, I imagine it's like, you know, I gotta sit down, I have my friends with me, you know, I got a whole hog, and we can split it up, but like we all get the good bits. Like we all get it. You know? Like maybe 2 or 3 people. I mean, the cook's gotta get a bit, right? Because they've been spicing it and rubbing whatever fruit they need on it. I don't really know cooking, so, you know, apple. And then the cook at that point goes, beans? And he goes, no, not beans. We could have that on the side, maybe.
Are hogs prevalent in this area?
No.
No.
The area that you're currently in is pretty dusty and pretty nasty.
You want to go somewhere warmer? Well, colder, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somewhere with some trees.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
So roast it. I think you're onto a winner.
Sounds good.
Well, since I've eaten really good whole pork for some time.
Well,
we do have a few days travel left. Maybe, you know, maybe I can get over my fear of, you know, hurting things a bit, and maybe you could go hunting. We can find a hog. We can cook it up.
I'm pretty certain I could butcher it. Pretty well.
Looks like we're on to something. All right.
we can take a leg, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. He says not knowing about that, so not really connecting the dots.
I just kind of look at Almeida like dead in the eye and be like, Dr. Snips here took an entire leg off a person just with his knives. Did you know that? Carry giant knives on them.
They're not that big. Shing!
They're some big knives. Yeah, they are. All right. Okay. Well, I'll trust you with the butchering then, Doctor.
Thank you.
Shares a look with you, Mordecai, of just like fucking terrified.
Mordecai looks back like, what the hell did we find this man?
All right, well, I say we camp up for the night, unless there's anything else you want to say, and then we can move on, see if we can find us a hog on the way. Maybe get ourselves some good food.
I'm just gonna make sure I stay nowhere near Miss Morgan and Dr. Phineas, for fear that I might just spontaneously either be shot to death in my sleep or carved to pieces.
Now, come on, Mordecai. I don't think Morgan cares about you enough to do that.
Good point.
I nod. It's like,
Good point. Yeah, that's true.
And as we sort of end there with the scene,
Phineas will just quickly, just very quickly, he will go to his sort of like caravan, and sort of like pull out a really nice bottle of single malt scotch, and can't remember the gent's name who's in charge, not in charge of the camp, the fellows with the beans.
Oh, with the beans, Declan.
Thank you.
Declan the cook.
Lovely person.
Excuse me, Declan, do you have any glasses?
Yeah, of course I do. I come prepared for everything, he says, and gets you out some glasses.
He'll clean them up a little bit, position one out in front of everybody, including Declan, and pour them just a drop into each of them.
Thank you.
Nice dram.
I'm used to this. Thank you, he says, and kind of takes a drink. And
he lifts the glass up. To good health and to better times.
Good health
and maybe a hog.
Times. And a hog, says Almeida as he kind of grins at you and takes it back in one go.
I'll drink to the hog.
But it find that special somebody.
Or a hog.
Of course.
He kind of gives you a bit of a side grin, Mordecai. And as we call that, as everything fades to black, so to speak, on that scene, you all go to bed, and on your final night, before, well, your actual final night, is there anything that any of you dream of? Is there anything that comes to mind as you're laid there at night, as you're sort of running over that this may be some of your last nights on this earth? We'll go around. We'll start with Jonny. After your night drinking, eating, having a good time, chatting with these new people, is there anything that comes to mind as you're laying there at night, as you sleep, or even as you're laying sleepless?
I think there would be one resounding image in my little old head And it will be the image of me standing over that man that I spoke of. He's just bleeding from the abdomen, a revolver in my hand, and just the look he gives Jonny, because he shot him, and just the shame in raising that kind of pupil.
And that image is emblazoned in your mind and repeats. And you see the betrayal, you see the shame as they look in your eyes as that light fades from them. But that fire that is staring at you stays with you. Mordecai, as you're laying there at night, anything you think of or dream of in the night?
Mordecai dreams he's in a picture house. Every significant choice he's made past his daddy's in time of death rolls past. And he runs through a couple of options that maybe things might have turned out differently if he'd not been a stubborn fool, or too selfish, too vengeful, too pig-headed. He kind of reminisces on the life he could have lived, realizing that he always had a choice. He just chose poorly.
And you watch those images pass by in this picture house made exactly for you, getting delivered drinks that are your favorites all the time, but each of them tasting a bit too bitter than what they should, a bit off, a bit rotten. And you watch these images play and play and play all night. Snips. Dr. Snips. As you lay there at night, anything come to you?
Phineas, I think, sleeps like the dead.
Good.
But what he will do before he goes to bed is, unbeknownst to the others, is he goes back to that poor man's missing foot that he stashed in the back of his cart and sits amongst the various other sort of like knickknacks and bones collected over a sort of like time as a like surgeon for nearly 20 years, and just picks through a few choice bits where he's carved various sort of symbols and occult natured sort of like markings into them. And he just whispers kind of almost like a silent prayer to himself. May the bones roll well tomorrow for me. And may this journey continue.
Okay. And finally, Morgan, as you go to bed that night, sharing some stories, hearing other people's, having a drink, some good beans and pork, bit of cheese on the side. What are you thinking of? What are you feeling as you either lay there awake or as you sleep? Do you dream of anything?
As usual, before going to bed, she sets aside the pistol, Arthur's pistol, and she'll kind of clutch the little dream catcher that her friend gave her from her childhood days, and hope for a good dream.
Okay.
But her dreams are strange, as given her different gifts, we could call them. And she ends up dreaming of just seeing Arthur again in her dream. And he just smiles as he holds up the upside down death card. And all these different cards kind of just fly out in front of her. One of them is the Wheel of Fortune, and then one of them is the Tower. And they just keep appearing before her. Upside down death, Wheel of Fortune, Tower.
And as you see
Over
these
and
cards flash before you over and over again, that one card of death returns and returns and returns. And as it does the final time, the hanged man upon it is the face of Arthur, the face that you remember. And then the card begins to burn from the bottom right as it sets alight and becomes ash rapidly from one corner to the other as it lights a flame and the ashes waft down before you. And as the ashes fall beyond, you see a figure stood across from you, and you find yourself in a strange, smoky room, almost. The smoke roiling and rolling ahead of you as you see a dark figure stood across. And you see something at his side, a gun that you recognize, one that you took from Arthur when you killed him. And he looks at you from the shadows through the roiling smoke once again, and simply says, "Well, Miss M, it seems we're at a bit of a impasse, doesn't it? You shot me. I thought we had something."
We did.
And yet
You
you
really
shot
did.
me. In the
'Cause you're
stomach.
evil.
Evil. Now that's a novel thing, ain't it? Ain't you evil? You ain't done good things yourself, Miss M.
And I'll get what I deserve later, sooner. Doesn't matter. But you got yours, Arthur.
Or did I? But
You
you'll
did.
get yours soon enough, Miss M. We'll see to that.
I'm gonna shoot your daddy just like I shot you.
Well, don't miss. And watch your back. You don't want to end up buried for good this time. And with that, the figure fades into the smoke. And you wake up. Suddenly, cold sweats. And as you look at your side, the gun's gone.
I don't think Morgan's sleeping for the rest of that night. She's just actually going to immediately just bolt out of her tent and look
You
around
do
for
so.
any steps.
And you look around. Could you give me a notice check, please?
Sure.
Okay, we'll eventually get there. So begins the quest for the notice check. Oh, there we go. 5. Okay, cool. So on a 5, Morgan, you look around and you don't seem to spot much, but then you do spot something at the edge of the camp. You spot what looks to be footsteps of boots in the ground, deeper than they should be, heavier than they should be almost. But then they seem to almost as quickly as they were heavy fade away into very light steps, and then nothing. But the boots, as you look at them, the size is about that you remember. Seem to match that of Arthur. But he's dead. You killed him, you saw to that. But they do lead away from your tent.
She just kind of slowly clutches her rosary around her neck and just takes a very long breath.
And for the other 3 of you, could you each roll me a very quick notice check? The highest of them will be the one that wakes to this.
All
right.
Oh.
Oh my
Mr.
God.
Snips!
Mr. Snips, the sound of people being disturbed in their sleep is something that you're very attuned to. It's something that you've learned over the years to tune in and listen for, because of course if they're wounded, for example. And the moment that Morgan makes out that gasp and blasts out of her tent and looks around panicked, you pick up the hitched breaths, you pick up the rustling of the fabric as it pulls itself open, and you wake. The other 2, you're still asleep, but you awake. You snap straight awake, and you can feel that palpable panic in the air.
Speaking of palpable panic in the air, it's actual proper, but like beyond the footsteps a bit. there's actually just a gust of air just swirling around her, and you can just see the dust kind of swirling as she looks quite panicked, and it's just getting faster and faster.
Phineas will gauge the situation nice and slowly because he has no real clue as to what's going on, and he's quite a learned man, so he's not about to rush over there. Also, with Morgan's reputation for flinging people off cliffs and various other things, he doesn't wish to get shot. So he's going to very carefully approach in his very mild-mannered way, one step at a time. Can I, he's going to have a bit of a look around?
This?
Yeah, you can give me a notice check to see if you're having a look around, and you're currently panicking, but you can give me a notice check regardless.
Okay.
Because he isn't really hiding his footsteps, I believe. So.
No, I don't think he's being particularly stealthy.
Okay. So, Phineas, as you get closer, you do see these sort of footprints in the ground that seem to be quite heavy, and then they fade rather suddenly. And they're just in front of where Morgan is, and the wind that is ripping around her begins to cover these tracks and wipe them away almost. And aside from that, you do hear the footsteps of Phineas coming from behind, but they are calm. They are slow, they are measured.
The moment she hears him, the wind just immediately dies down around her. And she looks up at you, just with a very, very dead look in her eyes. And fear.
Trouble sleeping, my dear?
You could say it's something like that. Had what you call a bad dream.
Ah. Do you want something to maybe make the terrors go away?
I don't know if anything can help me there, Doc.
Just something that'll help you sleep a little sounder, maybe. Cool. Is it something I recognize?
Oh, wait, I was muted. So as you sort of step forward and the wind stops flowing around, you see a dark mark on Morgan's hand, and it's something that you don't recognize. It's on her palm.
But yes.
Do I notice I'm noticing, though? Because,
Give me a notice
she
to
wears
see if
gloves
you
at all
notice him
times.
noticing.
I don't think I'm making a point of it.
No. Glance with the eyes, I guess.
Yeah, just a glance,
Yeah.
a general glance over.
Yeah, she always wears gloves all the time.
You're not right now.
Yeah, just not today, not right now. So
Okay, well, that's fine. But I can certainly see about maybe mixing you up a tonic or something that could help you sleep.
honestly, Doc, I don't want to sleep. If I sleep now, I feel like something's. Never mind.
You can finish that sentence when you're ready, and I will listen. I'm told I'm quite good for it, Generally speaking, when you're cleaning up somebody's hair or giving them a close shave, they do like to go on sometimes. The
Do
benefits
you believe in
are...
ghosts, Doc?
Yes, I do, totally.
She kind of glances over at the feet. Do you think ghosts can steal pistols?
I think ghosts can do a great many things that science can't explain.
She'll just continue staring at the footsteps that are gone, and then as she's staring at them, you can almost see like the earth just flatten back to nothing.
Mm-hmm. So, I feel like I'm overstepping my mark here, but if you want, I'm quite happy to stay up. Then we can not talk, but you could sit next to the fire, I guess, and if you want, we can talk. I'm just saying, I don't...
I'd like that.
I'll tell you what, I'll go fetch some more of that single malt. It was really nice tipple. It's been a while. If you want to get the fire started.
Yeah, she'll go and get the fire started.
You do so. with an ease that you always have when you're doing this. You get it started, it starts to warm up the area around you, the light sort of appears on it, and as it does, as this area lights up once again, Morgan, can you give me another notice check, please?
I don't wanna. Oh, snake eyes. I really don't wanna.
Everything's fine. It's
So-
great, it's dandy.
With Snake Eyes, you are going to notice it, but too much. As you light it and you look over towards your own tent for a second, and as you do, you see something that you're fixated by, as you see a single bullet hole in your tent flap, just at the side, and the angle seems to match that would hit where you would have been lying, where the stomach was. And as you stare at that, your palm burns. Your left palm burns slightly. And you feel your head go dizzy. And you begin to lurch to the side as you spot at the corner of your eye a dark figure stood in a long coat with a big hat. And then it fades. And Dr. Snips, you come back out. The fire is lit, but Morgan seems very out of sorts.
I'll
Yeah,
walk
she's just
over.
like frozen, seemingly in fear, staring at like an empty space.
I'll walk over carrying 2 glasses with this bottle of like single malt, like looking kind of like a little bit confused. What is it? Have you seen a spider? And he just like starts panicking almost as he kind of swings around and kind of like.
Speaking of, as you're standing there with your single malt, you do see a spider. It crawls up from underneath the single malt. And it's kind of going on the front of the bottle, and he hasn't noticed yet.
I look over at him, and it's like, I calm down a bit. I point at my tent. Do you just have a look at there? Do you see the bullet hole there?
I do. Well, do I see a
Could you give me a
spider or
notice
do
check?
I see a bullet hole? Sorry.
Pointing away from the bottle to look at the hole, like.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I look away from the bottle and have a look at the hole.
And as he does that, she just immediately goes to snatch it and drop it in the fire.
Okay, no problem. Could you give me a very quick, just agility check for that then? And could you please just give me the notice then, Finis, as you're looking at this as well?
Calling it.
Oh yeah, you.
It's totally going to be a double one. Oh, not quite.
Okay, so she points over to the tent. You look over to the tent, and you're not entirely sure what she's figuring out. But you turn, and you see she's still stood there, very still. Morgan, you've managed to whip your hand out, take the spider into your hand, and fling it into the fire in one smooth motion.
Maybe I should get Mordecai to check it out tomorrow.
And speaking of Mordecai,
Some sensible.
Sir,
you've been hearing talking directly outside of your tent that has stood you. You don't know what's being said, but you hear the voice of Morgan and Snips from outside the tent. Jonny, you too hear the voices. There's some talking going on outside. And there's a crackling of fire. And light that's kind of peeking in through the tent flaps for both of you.
No, I think I'd
something that
peek out a little bit,
something.
but then I'd see Morgan and Dr. Snips with 2 glasses of alcohol. I'm just gonna connect 1 and 2 together. Yeah, they're just having a little night.
How does face pale look romantic to you?
I don't know. Maybe he's just confessed
What
to
if
Morgan and she doesn't know how to handle it. I don't know. Say I'm
this
just
is
not
like
getting
like,
Wild West the
none of my
music?
business.
No.
Y'all have fun, kids.
What about you, Morgan?
Mordecai comes out of his tent, buckling up his gun belt, like, "So, kids, what are you looking at?" I'm sorry. I'll leave it up to it. Have a good evening, y'all.
Does he actually say that though?
When a man and a lady are by the campfire with
Mordecai,
the
come here.
glasses, fine.
She would like you to take a look at her
Start
tent.
following your craziness, all right?
I point him towards my tent flap where I saw the bullet.
Mordecai, give me a very quick notice check, please. As Morgan is still just pointing at a tent.
Now,
Make of that what you will.
Do you want notice or do you want investigation?
Whichever is the highest of the two.
Got an 8.
An 8 on your investigation will get you. You spot it, and you immediately see it. You see a bullet hole. It's from a revolver. You believe it's from the revolver. The same caliber as the one that Morgan was holding before. The one that she had in her other hip that she never used. But the thing about it is, it's going from outside the tent to inside the tent. And the angle is almost like it was pointed towards someone who's sleeping inside. But there's been no gunshots. You've not heard any gunshots. And this wasn't here before you get on your 8 as well. You've never seen this on her tent. This would have been patched.
Like some kind of bloodhound, or Mordecai gets himself fixed on this. He opens up the tent flap, kind of not really bothering for her personal privacy right now, given that there's someone out there throwing ghost bullets around. And kind of squats down next to her bed, and has a good look from inside her tent outside to see if you can see anything through the bullet hole and kind of get a track on where the bullet's trajectory came from. Like, was it from a tree?
Yeah.
Some guy going past on a hang glider now trying to take pop shots at people with Colts? I mean, come on. It's a valid question.
So as you do that, you go in, you look out the hole. It seems almost like it looks like it came from the sky, which in reality means that likely somebody had the gun against the tent pointed down. So it was close, and you can tell because the rip kind of supports that. And as you look, you can see there is indeed a bullet hole next to Morgan's, basically her bedroll that she's got, that is in the ground. Almost like it missed her by an inch, but it would be around where her abdomen was, you determine on your 8 still.
Comes back out from the tent and has a look and see if you can see what's directly in front of the bullet hole. Like,
So you see it too.
Sure is shooting. And by God, is that some shooting.
As
your life.
As he says that, she immediately just like stands up and just kind of screams into the night. Arthur, I know you're out there.
So Almeida wakes up at this point. Jonny, you're hearing a screaming lady. Declan looks out and goes, Who now? What? Is everything all right?
Just halfway through pouring, like, just the glasses, just gently shaking the head.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just,
Okay.
come back here.
This
You're
is
gonna kill
doctor's
him.
orders. Morgan, please. Like, just... And then he, like, slugs his and probably, like, pours another one.
Morgan, look at me. Arthur is long dead. Like Darnell Coffin nail dead. You done told me when we found you that he's dead.
She turns to look at him. Y'all don't understand what I've seen. Y'all don't understand what I know. He's here. And he's haunted me.
I believe you.
He said, tomorrow, you're gonna have to make sure to watch my back, or I'm gonna be the one with the bullet. He said that.
You know what? I hate to say it, but I believe you. Can't tell you why, but I do.
Morgan shouting about her dead boyfriend comes from Almeida 10 as he's a bit confused.
Yeah,
he just kind of
she's doing it
steps out.
again.
He's pulled on his gun belt. He's kind of tightening it as he gets out and he goes, "What?
The bastard tried to shoot me.
No, you shot him, as I remember from his story."
She points at her tent. Ask Mordecai.
Mordecai's there. He's not in your tent. He stays a bit confused
Hell.
again, just kind of still waking up at this point.
Get your head over here and get the cobwebs up your noggin, dude. I need to look at this. This is something serious.
All right, if you say so, he says, and kind of walks on over and looks her
I
through
don't
it.
say so, man. I know so.
Those-
Get your gear on this.
I'm pretty sure if somebody shot this, we'd have heard it. What?
Ghost. Not if he stole his fucking pistol from me.
Morgan. Just come on. Just give us a minute here, okay? Keep it together, darling. You can do it. Somehow, I got faith in you.
She takes the thing. She takes like whatever Snips has poured for, and just like drinks it back without like savoring it. It's just like.
That's a waste.
Phineas.
That's good.
Phineas is really offended, but doesn't say anything.
Waste,
He just pours
but it's
another one, and then hands it over. Like,
Yeah, she's just like knocking them back. I'm sorry. She's wasting her really good alcohol.
Now, Al, see this engine here?
Yeah.
That's muzzle flash.
Yeah.
Someone put a gun to the sheeting of this tent and pulled the trigger, and no one knew. Someone got in our camp.
All right, that ain't good.
I told you it was Arthur. I saw his footsteps. They disappeared out of the blue. No trace.
So
I'm trying to believe
I
that someone
saw
out
the
there playing
footsteps.
shenanigans, but
I saw the footsteps as well. I can vouch for this. I heard what was going on, and I came out.
all right, well, let's follow the tracks then. Where are
They
they?
don't go anywhere.
They're
They're
gone.
gone.
I mean, they're gone.
As in, they are gone. They have ceased to exist. They do not. They're no longer here.
Tracks don't
The
just.
man of the footprints.
When you're dealing with ghosts, gentlemen, that can be very easily the case. Now, if you're willing to believe thus far that somebody walked into the camp and fired a gun and nobody heard the muzzle, sound as it fired, then accept the fact that perhaps what we're dealing with here is something that could be considered supernatural.
He took his gun back. I saw it in my dream.
Just relax, Morgan. Sit by the fire. I'll be out in just a moment.
Look, I ain't had enough coffee to deal with this yet, so. Declan,
Gentlemen,
wake up.
Go back to sleep. I'll stay up. It will be okay. We can keep a watch if we have to.
Mordecai turns to Almeida, so now we got states with the law, man. We got Pinkertons, we got armies on us, and now we got ghostly gunslingers.
Yeah, I'm waiting for what comes next, to be honest. I don't know what to expect at this point. Maybe, like, I don't even know what to suggest. Like a Wendigo or something.
Oh, come on, Wendigo.
Hey, they're real.
Yeah,
I've
with-
seen one of them.
Do I hear that? Do I
Yeah,
hear
you
that?
hear that?
You be hanging out
What
with the
do I
locals.
know about Wendigos from
When-
my back in my gypsy caravan days and recent
Yeah,
occurrences?
so you probably heard stories. You can give me a quick smarts check. But yeah, you could have probably heard stories about it. I mean, you were traveling around a lot. You would have stayed with a lot of different type of people. But you remember the story. It was scary. But you don't remember details. You were very drunk that night.
Oh, and let me guess as well, Al. We're gonna have Bigfoot come through with his best friend, the Skinny.
Bigfoot. That's what's gonna come next.
Oh,
go.
come on, Al.
Ghosts.
Oh.
Bigfoot. The Pinkertons.
Oh,
and he just
cool.
keeps listing them
And
off.
Christmas. And by Jiminy, come Christmas morning, Santa's gonna come down with his sleigh full of presents and bring me a brand new Remy. God damn it, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, he looks around and goes, all right, so Morgan, if everything is as you say it is, which I'm sure it is, because you don't really overreact to much, you're very calm, you're very centered, I trust you, then we need to make sure we got some sort of system figured out here. Because we don't want no ghost people coming in and shooting us up in bed. Yeah?
Oh, not you too, Al.
Look, Mordecai, I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying that maybe there's a fake ghost.
You don't believe in magic, Mordecai, or in spirits, ghosts, God, anything?
Believe in what I can see. And I see some guys come through, done something with a gun, try to shoot you in your sleep, then walked out of here.
That was all him.
Oh,
Well, him or
God.
not, let's get some rest. Get yourself some drink down here and get yourself some sleep. We'll set watches, take rotating shifts.
And say by perhaps and perchance and happenstance, the great ghostly reaper of Arthur Grisham himself happens to walk back into camp with his clanking chains going, ooh. What do I do then? Do I shoot him? Do I
Pray
throw
real hard.
cold at him? Do I ask him nicely to read the Lord's Prayer? Anybody get any ideas on how I find a ghostly gunslinger?
I mean, generally,
Otherworldly outlaw.
like there are tales of poltergeists and various other creatures to which you would attempt to, I suppose. I mean, reciting the Lord's Prayer at it probably won't do any harm.
Oh, come on.
Are you not a religious man? I find that most peculiar.
Even I believe in God. I just think he's an asshole.
If there was a God out there, he'd have intervened a long time ago. After seeing what man can do to another man.
Mordecai,
Miss Morgan.
have you ever wondered, all those years ago when you were chasing me with Almeida there, how I got out of all those situations you put me in?
I did wonder about that. I kept on sending you off to go and catch Morgan, and every time you're like, oh, she's
Don't
gone and
tell me
escaped
now,
again.
but you're gonna argue now for some kind of divine intervention, like Gabriel and Michael.
It's not about divine intervention. It's about magic and it's about spirits. It's about what the people of the land believe in. And I believe in the same thing.
Yeah,
You know why?
Something to that.
I can't believe I got grown folks around here telling real life ghost stories on.
She walks right up to him, opens her palm, and then just a flame just erupts and it just dances in her hand. This is why.
Mordecai? He says, and it's kind of like...
Closes it, and the fire extinguishes.
Yeah, Almeida goes over to you, Mordecai, and just kind of sidles on up next to you and just kind of goes, we're dealing with some sort of Satanist?
At which point,
words around here,
Just
boy.
kind of whispers.
it fits so well. You just see Snips come out the back of like his cart with all various voodoo scratched like bones, animals, skulls, and all sorts of things, and various sort of like bits and pieces with sort of like proper wibbly candle things.
The hell
Oh, Lord.
have I been riding with?
Towards where Morgan's like.
Who are you people? What are you people?
We're dealing with some sort of cult or some sort of, like, witches
My
or
God,
something.
y'all been invited to some bad shit in my life for these past few years. Y'all didn't know about it. Probably y'all fault the Brown Lords is after us. With you crazy.
No wonder a ghost boyfriend gunslinger's after us if you're carrying that sort of stuff around.
Exactly, you bring ghosts to my doorstep of my campsite. You crazy?
It's rather interesting how some people can suddenly find belief after only a few minor apparitions, and I'll just begin laying the various bits around sort of like Morgan's tent in the hopes that they'll form some kind of barrier, like whether there's anything to it or not.
Okay. So you do that, and Morgan, you do your stuff, and everybody else, you eventually do get a bit of rest. Whether it be sleep or not is entirely in question. But you do get some rest, and by morning, everything's gathered up, and you set off once more on your day of travel. And as you travel for another day, you do eventually come across an area that seems a bit more wooded. There's some good land there, and it's a little bit colder. And Almeida just kind of look over a bit and just kind of goes, you reckon there might be a hog in there or something like that?
You'll never know if you don't look.
Well, I mean, how about we take a little diversion? I think we need it after last night's debacle.
Yeah, Morgan's about as silent just to this morning, like no words, nothing, just.
All right, he says, and kind of you roll on up to it, and he gets off his horse, and you get some of your hunting equipment out, and he kind of looks around at each of you. Johnny, you good at hunting? Can you hunt with that thing, or do you need something a bit better?
I kind of snap back into reality because I've been thinking, what the fuck have I gotten myself into?
Did you just watch everything from like behind your tent flap the entire time?
I was trying to go back to sleep, but Morgan was reading about her boyfriend. People were arguing about ghosts.
The word? No, God damn.
Brought something that made Mordecai flip out.
Yeah,
it's like, whew.
It's a time.
all I have is a gun and a sword, you know? Ghosts?
All you've got is the power of God and anime on your side.
Yeah.
God, an anime. I mean, anime's great. Same.
Okay, so, and you.
I mean, I volunteer. I think we should have a look for a ball.
All right, this is good. This is good. Yeah. All right, and just to clear, all right, we can group up, go in groups of 2. I'll go with Declan. You pair up however you want. Go and look for a ball, bring it back, and we'll have ourselves a good old feast tonight. Set up camp, and then tomorrow we'll be heading in to the town, and into what hell knows is going to be there. Now, one note to mention, and I'm serious on this: if any of you see any ghosts or see Bigfoot out there, you holler at us, and we'll come and help you. You hear?
Absolutely.
All right.
I just deadpan stare at him. Just.
Yeah, he's got a very serious face on, but like you can tell he's joking a bit about the Bigfoot aspect. He's a bit scared about the ghost bit. All right, roll on out then. Go and get us a boar.
Try not to hit it in the skull.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get phrases together or do we split them up? It says Mordecai pointing at Snips and Morgan.
I just like still look at him deadpan, like I have not given any too much input.
Well, that's up to you. Me and Declan, we're gonna go and head out and see if we can find anything. Go on, Declan. He says in kind of gestures, and Declan's like, yeah, mister, I'm here. He says, and he kind of looks at you all and gives you thumbs up, and then gets going out. His like pans and stuff are clinking on him still. He's brought them with him. They're probably not gonna catch anything with that.
Yeah.
I bet Almeida just going off somewhere to fish and slack off.
That's
Maybe.
not a bad shout.
He does have his fishing rod on his back. As you start to see him walking away.
Hog roast. I just don't want to do anything to like get it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking less hog and more trout for dinner.
Well, I suppose we've got to have something to eat if we don't catch a hog. So how do you want to do this?
I don't know. Maybe we take one of you gifted individuals a piece. So, Jonny, pick one of these fine and completely sane individuals to take with you.
Oh, Johnny has been
I
given a
want
choice,
this
has
to-
he?
I cross my arms and just look at him.
That's fine. I think
Like that.
you would do perfectly well together. Shall we, Morgan? I think that was rather the obvious vote.
She shrugs and follows after you. Alright then.
Goose, goblins, hills, pixies.
As he says that and he's going to like walk away, Morgan throws him a very annoyed glance, and as he's just walking, his step will just suddenly sink by several like inches and he'll trip over himself.
Oh my god.
Just with a glance.
Mordecai writes himself, does some stuff down, and goes, great, now I got the forest pixies on me too. What's this? Wanna come living in my shoe and do my cobbling in my sleep? God damn.
Serves you right for not taking magic seriously.
She says as she disappears into the woods, no doubt with the pixies.
Maybe you get lost yourself with some of them pixies and them brownies. Don't call on me when you get stuck in the shoe.
I'm going silent. Did you want me to throw you a survival GM for
Please,
the?
could
for
you
the-
get... So, you are hunting, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, let me just quickly bring this up. And let's get you doing some hunting. So, Morgan. Do. What have you got? Could you give me... Yeah, just give me a survival. You know what? You can try and use that. Try and find it.
5. I got a 5.
Yes, so...
I try and help as well with my
Certainly,
survival.
yeah, so you give me a check as well.
I've
Alright,
only got a
cool.
4.
So the two of you begin to sort of search, you begin to have a look around for tracks. You do find a few sets of tracks, but they don't lead anywhere good, and they don't seem to be correct. But eventually, Morgan, you do manage to find a set that looks a bit deeper, and it does look to be more of a telltale sign of a boar or a hog out here somewhere. Looks heavy, though.
Yeah. She looks up at Snips.
You find him tucked away, sort of just next to a bush.
And then she'll just kind of like, after like noticing it in the distance, she'll kind of stand up really quietly and just whisper, "What you think you can?"
I can try.
It's only tracks, by the way, for now. You haven't actually seen the hog, so.
Pretty much, yeah. She was like, "Once we get close enough, if you can just slice the neck right there, it'd be real nice."
I can certainly try. Most boars I've seen are monstrous creatures. Surely you're going to want to shoot it, I would have thought.
Honestly.
Well, realistically, I don't know if I'm going to be able to cut it. Ha!
And whilst you say that, great pun, the two other ones, what are you doing? Are you trying to track a boar down? Are you slacking off? What are you doing?
Mordecai is now more than ever keen to make sure this happens without knowing any divine intervention or whispering on the wind or, I don't know, talking to trees. So he's going to do some mundane stuff and look for tracks leading to things like truffles or mushrooms.
Cool.
See if any local flora or fauna has been disturbed in any way.
Brilliant.
Things like rubbing against trees and that kind of thing. And
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
and if I would be able, I'd throw survival roll on that, please.
Please, if you will. And Johnny, what were you saying?
No, I was just gonna tell Mordecai, Mr. Mordecai, I don't think you should be aggravating Morgan. What if she can turn you into a toad? I've read stories.
Oh, come on. Is everybody in this goddamn posse gone crazy on me?
Sir, I've seen that woman blow up a lock with a card.
Oh,
What's that about?
my boy. She probably did some magician stuff, sleight of hand. Probably put a little gunpowder on there or something.
And a card?
Yeah, the card and just lit it with a match. Come on.
She threw the card in the cart, Mr. Morgan, and it blew up inside the cart.
I'm sure it is a perfectly fine and reasonable, logical, and dare I even say scientific explanation as to why that blew up. Sir, I'm about here playing with some grim tales or some. Next thing you know, a thunderbird's gonna come down and swoop me up and take me to its nest or something, or the Loch Ness monster's gonna climb that lake over there and
And as you say that, Mordecai, you do hear a very large caw of a bird from above you.
Mordecai looks up.
It just seems to be just a normal small bird. It just got a bit closer and cawed rather loudly for a moment. It made it jump slightly, but seems nature's after you.
Ah, don't see you, bird.
Oh.
Anyway, look, Morgan is always being a bit cagey. Last thing we need her now is losing her head and deluding herself into some craziness about her ex-lover coming back from the grave and trying to kill her.
And as you're saying that, could you give me that survival check? As this is whilst you're walking and looking.
Can I help?
Yes, you both can make me a check.
With my one good eye?
With your one good eye.
Number 9.
10,000. Oh.
10,000. That's a good roll. All right, on your 9 and on your 3. So you do actually do really well. It's almost like your rage against nature and against magic is coming to kind of help you as you walk around raging about this, and you find a tree that seems to have been pushed slightly over and has some scrape marks on it. And you also see some very disturbed bushes as you begin to walk through. And as you're sort of saying about your last moment and the bird overhead shocks you for a moment, you begin to hear some snorting coming from nearby. Loud and deep snorting.
Mordecai settles down on his haunches. Slips out the Winchester from off his back.
Okay.
Okay, nothing, Johnny. See, we don't need no divine intervention or nothing. We don't need no spirits or trees whistling on the wind.
But how do you know it's not divine intervention? Isn't that the point?
And as he says that, like God rays appear from through the leaves as like light shafts kind of light up this little clearing where there's this hog, and the golden light pierces through and hits it, and its fur shines slightly in the light.
Is that a sign?
Oh, No.
Maybe we shouldn't shoot it anymore, Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, you just call me.
I called you Mr. Morgan for some reason.
Son, I don't remember growing me no extra lumps in the past half an hour, so
Sir, I'm sorry. I didn't sleep well tonight.
that damn
Oh,
gonna be so
we're yelling.
Who you calling Mr. Morgan? God damn. Ooh. Being so hurt in my life.
And as you're saying that, the other two, you've managed to make it around the other side of the same clearing. You don't see Mordecai or Jonny, but you do manage to see a hog that is in there. Big hog. And it's sort of scraping itself against the tree. And you also see that there's been some very disturbed vegetation nearby and some ground that's been scraped up. And it looks like a very angry boar, essentially.
So, like, if we don't kill it immediately, it might kill us kind of mean.
It will probably gore you, yeah.
So your suggestion, I believe, Morgan, was that I sneak close with the knife and then cut its throat, right? Okay. Let me see about doing that.
Let me just...
And at that point, Dr. Snips will begin to sneak his way closer.
I'm also going to sneak because I'm getting ready to shoot this damn thing.
Okay, so can the two of you give me a stealth?
Both of us, right? I'm assuming?
Oh, yeah. Very nice.
We're gonna need to stealth some and hope for the
Very
best. 5.
And the two of you begin to sneak around the trees as Mordecai levels his rifle.
Let
Okay.
me show you how it's done, boy. You got to deep breath and let it out.
This is probably not a good time to mention this, but it probably is. Just saying the minute that Snips is like going to hit it, she's actually planning to like make it sink around it, the ground.
That's fine.
Because she doesn't want,
But
you
you're
know,
beginning to sneak at this point, so you're trying to get closer as this is happening.
I'm just really hoping I don't make it sink the same time Mordecai makes a shot. That would be really bad.
We'll see. If crit fails, that's what happens, but we'll see.
That's amazing.
So, Mordecai, as you were saying.
Mordecai settles into a seated position and rests the rifle on the crook of his elbow. Which he then leans his elbow on his raised knee at the front of him so he can get a nice, stable shooting platform.
All right. Give me the shot, please. As you aim up, you fire. That's a good hit. Can you give me the damage? Very nice. So a shot as you're beginning to sneak and you duck away into the bushes and you begin to move through. A very loud shot rings out as the Winchester rifle kicks up and you just hear as suddenly the bullet strikes the side of the boar. That seems to almost immediately flops to the ground and begins to sort of thrash around violently. It seems Mordecai's shot hit something very vital in there.
Yay! I don't have to do anything.
Snips will move up and just finish it off. Like,
You move up,
Slit its throat, like...
you finish it off and, you know, try and make it as quick as possible for it. And you do see Snips at the hog as after you've made the shot, almost immediately after. Seems you both came across it about the same time.
We all found the same hog, huh?
how fortuitous.
How divine intervention-y.
Mordecai stares at the tree. I watch you, tree.
The tree stares back.
Behind, like from behind the tree, Morgan steps out.
I knew it. Trees. Jokes aside, though, let's get this thing back for anything with bigger teeth and longer claws turns up and tries to take what's ours.
Like a Wendigo.
Oh, come on. No, ain't no goddamn Wendigo gonna come around here and start eating the hog.
Who stares at you?
I'll go try and find a branch long enough to tie it up to.
Yeah, you find it easy. You're in a wooded area. You find a good one to kind of tie it up to so that you can drag it back. And
Sling it between two people's shoulders and carry it that way, I think.
yeah.
Do you think anyone wants to go and grab Almeida from his fishing trip? Or should I do it?
I'll go. If anything happens, maybe you can talk to the pixies about it.
How about you do the pod, Karen? She looks at him like, if you leave, it's between me, Dr. Snips, and Jonny to
I
carry
can carry
this
it.
Johnny's a strong boy.
all by yourself.
Mm,
Maybe.
I am actually quite athletic, thank you very much. I do make sure that I look after myself and take time in the morning.
Yeah, well, I guess these two gentlemen are a lot more strong than you are. Off with you then.
maybe I don't rate you very much, Miss throwing axes into trees. But the man who decapitated a man's leg with a thrown knife, and the man who walks around with a sword on his hip, I think they're probably not enough to carry that hog back to where we need to take it.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm much stronger than the snapper who can't do anything but shoot. Off with you.
When you're smart enough, you don't need to do any heavy lifting. I bid y'all good day.
And with that,
I like
Mordecai,
that tip.
you make your way away, and you go and try and find where the nearest lake or river is that you can probably find Almeida's having a nice fish at. And the rest of you, the two who are carrying it, can you give me athletics checks, please?
I believe in you. I'm here for moral support.
Very
Fine.
nice. That's 1 success and 2 successes. So the two of you, it is hard going. This thing is a hefty hog, but you're managing to sort of walk back slowly with it and on the branch. It's taking a while, but you eventually make it back to camp. Mordecai, meanwhile, you've made your way through, and without no time at all, you find where the stream's running through. You just follow the sound of the water. It is kind of audible. And as you get to the side, you do see Almeida sort of sat, his good arm sort of resting the fishing rod, and he seems to be, he has a couple of fish near him already. He's caught a couple of trout, it seems. He's got lucky. But aside from that, you see a small basket there where he's got them in, and he's currently got it in the river. And you can see his good old friend next to him as well, as the cook is sat with his pans, as he's sort of cleaning them up and washing them down with the water.
Mordecai walks over to the trout and takes a good look at them for size and
Pretty good size.
the poke. I see these here hogs grew gills.
Yeah, they're weird hogs, but you know, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Besides, I thought I'd get some fish in case, you know, we didn't get lucky and found a hog out here. Means we got good eating regardless.
Oh, I do indeed thank you, dear sir, in your great forethought and foresight. And
So I heard a
everything
shot
else.
out there. Either you shot Morgan or, you know, she shot you, which doesn't seem to be that way. So I'm guessing you found a hog.
Tried shooting Morgan, but the pig got in the way.
Maybe one day. He says it sort of reels in.
Maybe.
All right, well, in that case, we can get back, prepare that, and get some eating. One last night. And then tomorrow we hit the road for real. Maybe for the last time, old friend.
Oh, come on. Everybody down here talking craziness with the Wendigos and the Sasquatch and the Pixies and the Brownies and the trees and they now got you, of all people, being a downer about how this is going to be the last time. I mean, the last thing these people need is that leader now telling them that it's going to be the last time.
Hey, look, I ain't telling everybody that, but I just got a feeling, you know? I'm hoping it ain't. I'm hoping it's a wrong feeling, but seems a bit rotten.
How many times has been our last time, Almeida?
A few. And hopefully this one ain't the last. Hopefully the next last time ain't the last time, but I got a bad feeling about this one. We got the ancients on us. We got law after us. We got these people that, well, ain't exactly good folks working for them rail lords. And we're having them all come to one place at one time.
I know.
But now I got a ghost boyfriend.
Oh, shush about the ghost boyfriend, okay?
Alright, look, it might not be a ghost, but it is concerning. And it's close.
I'm concerned. Don't get me wrong. I am concerned. Some asshole snuck into my camp while I was sleeping. You know how precious a man's sleep is? You think I look this good by not sleeping? I know my beauty sleep, Almeida. I need to feel safe when I'm sleeping.
Well, hopefully tonight we'll get some good food down as we'll sleep nice and easy. And then tomorrow we won't die.
And over dying, we're going to walk away like we always do. get on our horses, get back to the rest of the camp, wherever they've gone to. I'm going to find our way someplace safe.
All right, but...
And we'll keep following this here plan of yours until it happens.
I'm glad you got faith, he says and nods. I'll do my best to get us out of here. Now we should probably get back. Isn't that right? He says it. He stands up and starts packing his stuff and goes, we'll meet him back there, get this done, and have ourselves a good night. He says and takes everything up.
Yeah, well, just because I ain't got no faith in no higher powers or tree folks, don't mean I got no faith in people I know.
That means a lot. Coming from you.
Well,
He says and kind of pats you on the shoulder.
Well, shoot.
Come on, old man.
That's out there somewhere that ain't metaphysical.
And you begin to walk back. And eventually, those of you at the camp, you've been preparing the hog, and you're met by Mordecai, the cook, and also Almeida as they come back. Almeida's got a basket with him. It's got 2 fish in it. Quite big fish, and he kind of plops that down as well. Don't think we'll be needing this, but just in case.
Well,
something you
behold,
did
as
there.
our Savior did feed the masses with 5 loaves and 2 fish.
I thought you said you weren't religious. He says he looks at you a bit funny.
It don't mean I don't know reading.
True. Well, it looks like we're going to have a hog tonight, so I'm pretty excited for one. Okay, so let's get this sorted. I'll build a fire. We'll get it roasted. We'll get it all good and sorted. We'll have ourselves a good meal. And then we'll get ourselves ready for the morning. How's that sound, everyone?
I do.
Good.
Fine.
Thanks.
There
I
should
trust
be
your
lots
butcher.
this kind of morning as well. Oh, indeed. And Phineas begins to sort of like just roll up his sleeves.
Yeah. So, Phineas, could you give me a survival or medicine check? I'll let you do it on medicine. Why not? Or craft or anything else you have that's relevant to cooking that is the highest of them.
Poison. I'm kidding.
Just thinking through. Sorry.
No,
Be
it's
like
fine.
Could I go for common knowledge?
Yeah, we'll let you do it on common knowledge.
That's
Wow.
an 11.
So you perfectly prepare it along with Declan, who sort of helps you. He sort of tells you how he needs to prepare it as well, so that it tastes best. And you both sort it out together. You get it perfectly roasted. You get it perfectly butchered. You get everything just spot on. It is like your mouth is watering by the end of it. All of you are, as you smell this like delightful scent. And it seems that the potato that Declan's been saving as well. He's got that and served that out as well. And he's got a couple more that he's hidden away. And he's like, I got some more. And you have a very nice roast pig, some roast potatoes, and some fish as well. And by the end of it, you've got this veritable feast in front of all of you, in front of a fire. And Almeida disappears into the back of his own tent for a moment and pulls out a bottle and sits down. And he plops a bottle of what looks to be some very premium whiskey, and it just says fire on the front of it.
What you got there, man?
Something I've been
Well,
saving for a long time. But I ain't got better company. I got me a hog. And friends.
Will your
Allies.
dream come true?
You could say that, he says, and he pops the top off and gets ready and pours each of you a glass of it. This here's a good whiskey, so you enjoy it. It's from way back home where I came from. To life. To everything that comes with it.
True.
Clinks and then downs it. And it burns as it goes down for all of you. It seems to be a spiced whiskey. And it's hot. But it's good. It's hearty and it's nice. As you all drink and start eating up, you all have a delectable feast of hog. And you have this drink. And you have a brilliant time. And Almeida, as you're rounding up, simply just sort of, as you're
Almeida?
mopping up the last bits. Yeah, Almeida, as he's rounding up. And as all you are rounding up, he looks over at you all. He goes, so we need to discuss a plan. Now, we don't really have one. The way I see it is we're going in there tomorrow. From what I know of the town, he says, and he sort of rolls out a little map of it. It's a very basic map. There's hardly any details. And he's like, got all this area to work with. Now, entrances. There's around 2. South and north. Both of them have a gate. But the northernmost is backed up by a river. This one, he says, he gestures to the one that's flowing through. Now, the thing is, that land it dips in a bit. So they've had to block it off, a dam, so to speak, one they've constructed. We cut off half of the entire town if we took that out. Funnel.
Divide and conquer.
Just my thoughts, Mr. Phineas.
Well, I do have dynamite.
Damn shame you know how to use it too.
That's good. Alright. Way I see it is, intel I have says they'll be coming by afternoon, late evening, probably. Gives us maybe 2 hours to set up our plan before we have to enact it. We ain't gonna have much time to scout, we ain't gonna have much time to look around. We got dynamite and we got guts. Now, we don't know how many people we're expecting here. We know the men, the Railroad's men are coming in. So that's gonna be some people. Plus, we know the old gang members that you're so acquainted with are on their way. And maybe more. The locals may help us. I don't think they want to have their town ran through.
Last time we tried to help locals, they turned against us.
Yeah, he says, and he kind of gives a side eye to Mordecai and goes, yeah, they have a habit of doing that. So I say we do it ourselves.
May I suggest that I go in early?
Sure. Why is that? We maybe have 2 hours to work with, so.
No, I know. But I might be able to be useful if I'm on the ground. And I can normally slip by most people.
Of course.
The innocuous sort than I am. And if I'm the other side of the gate when you need it opening, well, it's just easier for you then, isn't it?
Alright. So we're heading there. In the morning, we'll hit Clearwater. We'll go there. We'll set ourselves up. You get your dynamite set up near the dam. We'll cut off one entrance if need be. The rest of us will find somewhere, a vantage point. Middle of town, maybe. An old building somewhere that we can hold out.
Saloons are normally good. Normally have a decent height. Normally on the entrance anyway.
Yeah, we may be able to stir up something to get him out, or at least to find a place there then. From what I hear, it's a bit of a ghost town anyway. Most people have moved on out due to the threats and, being paid off. So I think we should be alright.
You poor folks to get caught in the crossfire. Better for us in the long run. Hell, better for them too. We don't need no innocent people getting hurt by this.
Yeah, I don't want no people getting hurt aside from those that need to.
Speaking of people that need to be getting hurt, it's just 5 of us. There's gonna be how many? 15, 20, more?
Probably
There's
more.
gotta be a way that we can at least get to the numbers a little while they're grouped up. Probably passing through the gates, one of them.
It'd be good to get some of that dynamite in, if we can, in the gates.
Is there a way to bury it? Let it blow up?
I could
Like a
shoot it.
mine?
We get some laying around someplace, put it in the barrel with some other bits and pieces of rocks and stuff.
Now,
Like
mind
every-
you, I only have 4 sticks right now.
Right.
Ain't got much.
The
But we
dam's
gotta really use
much
it.
more than 2 at most.
I can light something up from afar.
We heebie-jeebie magic.
With the things that keep letting Mordecai make, unable to catch me, yeah.
How reliable is that? Is there a chance of failure on that?
She looks down. Depends. When it's not stressful, when I can focus on it.
Alright, so we put
But
Mordecai
if we're in the middle of
on-
a gunfight, I can't focus.
Alright, good. Alright, so we need to make sure it's not in a gunfight. That's one thing. Well, how about me and Mordecai? We'll hole up somewhere good that we'll have a vantage point, be able to deal with this, and start up a gunfight if need be. Jonny, you deal with the dam. Mr. Snips, you can do what you need to do before. Be on the ground, be where you need to be. I trust your judgment on that. And Morgan, you tuck away somewhere quieter, calmer, and get yourself ready to light it up when they come through.
Perhaps I could go in with Morgan.
It'd be a good idea. If anybody's going to be able to keep Morgan calm, probably a doctor.
She kind of looks over at Snips.
More to keep the riffraff from troubling you.
You're going to need to set up the dynamite pretty subtly. You're going to be able to do that, Jonny. You're going to have to set some up near the front gate and some near the back to blow the dam.
Well, I can always give Snips 2 sticks. I'll take the other 2 with me to the dam.
Alright.
I'm not going to lie, I have no idea how dynamite really works. I mean, I understand the basic components, but I don't know. I've never.
You light the little black sticky thing. It goes shh.
Oh.
Good description.
So you're going to set the fuses?
They already have the fuses.
Okay, well in that case, no. This should be absolutely easy.
Okay.
Should have stolen some dynamite. Oh well.
Okay. So 2 sticks of dynamite to the front, 2 sticks of dynamite to the back. Mordecai and Almeida holding up in the saloon.
Anyone got some spare gunpowder?
No. Not unfortunately not.
Damn it.
Most of it went with the carts we had back there. So, no.
Because we got some gunpowder, we could have made a real big explosion for that.
We got
Yeah, well-
dynamite. That's going to be a pretty big explosion. You see
It'll
what?
make it bigger. Maybe some flour.
We ain't into baking cakes right now.
Fine cut flour, Almeida. It makes some damn fine miracles.
He just kind of looks a bit skeptically about that and goes, you and your magics. But if you need flour, I'm sure there's like a place we could buy some. Maybe you and Mr. Snips could go cake shopping.
I look at
That's
Mr.
wait
Snips like,
Morning, I guess.
in case you forgot, Almeida, my face is pretty popular. I'm quite sure I'm about as wanted, if not more than, well, you, at least.
Oh, I'm sure. But we got 2 hours. They're gonna do tell the lawmen whilst they're already coming down on us.
She shrugs. Yeah, we're going to hell anyway.
Maybe. Plus, I have it on good authority. The law won't be in. They've got an incentive to stay away from the place whilst the people go about their business in their acquisition of the location. Now, afterwards, we'd have problems, but before,
I have a question, Almeida.
oh, don't you? All right.
You know how that documents, those documentations, the reason why we got them in the first place was for this man of yours? Who was he?
No one important.
No one important. So very conveniently needed these documents that has information that, well, Almeida, you know, that Mordecai desperately needs. And wants. We'll head to a ghost town. They don't need much people. Yet they're gonna bring a lot. What does that say?
All right. I'll level with you. Well, the person we were working for was myself. I got some intel. Something that would benefit both my friend Mordecai here and me and all of you. We've been after getting back at these bastards who set us up for a while now. Ever since we were made criminals by them. See, situation not too unlike this happened a couple of years ago. Me and Mordecai here, we were hunting some bad folks, as I'm sure you know from our own meetings, Miss Morgan.
I remember them fondly.
We were hired by someone. They said that some people were coming, blackmailing them, strong-arming them, telling them to leave their land, that they had no right to be there anymore, and that they needed to be clearing out post-haste. Now, they hired me and Mr. Mordecai here to make sure that that didn't happen. We were protection, so to speak. But well, we fought, and got those people off their land. But after that, we found our faces plastered everywhere from here to as far south as I can think. Seems we crossed the wrong people, you see. The rail lords, they call themselves. Powerful people. They're the reason that most of us are here in some way or another. They're taking land that ain't theirs from anybody they want. They're killing good people, robbing good folks. And if you cross them, they'll see to it that you wind up dead or in a ditch somewhere.
This ain't news to me.
Many fingers and many pies.
But so this document was something that you were looking for.
Indeed. Tells us about two things. One, a very, very loaded train that's coming on down into the tracks. The route taking it all the way towards this place they want to build through. Full to the brim with gold. As much money as you can think. More than you could imagine, probably. See, they're moving a lot of their wealth to somewhere more secure. But this place is in the way. If they can connect the two sides, they've got a clear way right across the land to wherever the hell they want. This is the last chance, so to speak, the last place that we have to hold on to. If we stop them here, they can't go anywhere. They can't take the land and they can't move their wealth. We take that wealth and they're much worse off. And not to mention, Miss Morgan, the gang of members that, well, saw to it that you were buried. The gang that made Mordecai kill his own pa. The gang that have done horrific things across this entire country. They're working for him. They're the enforcers. And they're the ones sent in to deal with this Clearwater town, as they call it. So the way I see it is, we can get revenge, rich, and hit them where it hurts all at once.
You didn't need to convince me to go do what I already said I'd do. Thanks for the rousing speech.
Well, you can still back out if you want to, but I'd prefer to have your magic hands with us.
Those magic hands really desperately want to slap you right now.
When do they not? I thought that was like...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a default. I mean...
You know? She goes up to him.
Yeah.
And slaps him across the face.
He takes it and sort of rolls his jaw a bit and just kind of nods. Yeah, I probably deserve that.
So do they go back to behave themselves now, or is it like a continuous thing?
No, I can die happy. I've done what I've always wanted.
You've always wanted to slap me? He says and kind of looks at you with a raised eyebrow.
Well, back in the day when, we were playing cat and mouse, I've always wanted to step on his face and slap yours.
Wait,
You
what?
know, I think I had the better of the deal, Mordecai. I think I must not have annoyed her as much as you did. He says and kind of looks at you.
I've already stepped on his face.
Step on my face.
It's very specific.
Lady, you're into something real strange.
Now, what about
I've
you,
already
John?
done it.
You still in? Only you're the one who has the least stake out of all of us in this. Aside from, a hell of a lot of money. But I like you.
It'll be good to do something good once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Says, and your sword will probably come in very handy. If they get in close quarters, you can draw that, and they'll all look at you, and there'll be some sort of standoff, and they'll draw their guns, and you'll bat their bullets back at them, or whatever that thing does.
Can't even fight a gun with that.
Can I what?
Can you even fight someone with a gun with that thing?
I mean, it would entirely depend on distance.
A lot of variables.
Hmm.
A lot of variables, yes.
You always throw it at somebody.
Ah, come on, that
Mr.
seems a bit.
Snips.
That's fair. He says, and as you sort of round your conversation as well, he kind of you chatter away into the night, and you eat your boar, and you have your drinks, and it's a delightful time. And as the sunrise comes, and you all prepare for your final ride, possibly ever, you get yourselves ready, and you get moving out. And as you ride off around the road, over the rolling hills towards Clearwater, eventually in the distance you do see a town with a wooden wall all the way around it. These big wooden stakes that have been placed there as high as houses all the way around the entire encampment. And there's many little ramshackle looking wooden buildings in there, and it's a dusty looking town, but there's a very clear blue stream that runs all the way through the north end of the town. And the south end is facing you. And as you round over the cliff nearby and look down at the place, and the sun ahead is still high in the sky, we're going to call it that today. Bit early, but because we're about to go into hell. So,
Works for me.
thank you very much everybody for playing. Thanks everybody for watching. A bit earlier today, but I wanted to set up everything for the next 2 sessions and the finale of this season of Wanted, Dead or Alive, as we finally get ourselves ready to go into Clearwater and cause some hell. Alright, so we'll go around. Tell us your favorite moment. Tell us who you are, what you're working on, and yeah, that's been awesome. So, Morgan, thank you for playing.
Ooh. And thank you for running.
No worries.
Right. Let's see. Let's start with my favorite moment in this session. Honestly, I really, really loved all the stories. And it was really fun. I really loved that. And I really liked the spoopiness of the dream that you described, and that was really cool. And the afterwards, when I got to actually, have a nice chat with Dr. Snips. We never do, because she's usually creeped out by him, but And his little voodoo little moment of voodoo circle. That was amazing. So that's probably my favorite memories throughout the session. As for me, hi again, I'm Loria Lark, and I played Morgan. She was a delight to play as usual, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter, mostly Instagram, where I post pictures of my cat and whatever else I'm working on.
Cool, brilliant, and it's always good to have you here as always. So, Dr. Snips.
Thank you so much for running.
No worries. Dr. Snips.
Thanks again for running. Hello. I am 5 rounds more on Twitter and Instagram and various other platforms. Oh, blimey. I think I'm going to go with my favourite moment. And what can I say? Jean gets it again. I loved the moment when, just the idea, I had such a vivid image of Jonny just, tried to go to sleep, seeing what was going on, and then going, oh, well, they're just going to have a drink, closing up his tent, and then overhearing all this talk of voodoo, ghosts, church, religion, everything else. He was just lying there, just be like, what? What? What am I? Please? And then him just being, dead silent. Nothing. Nothing until late afternoon on the next day when they go hunting, Hugs, and just be like, so, that was a crazy night. I didn't sleep. Yeah, okay.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's actually.
Yeah, I did love that so much.
Yeah, I thought that was really well done, man. That was super cool. Things I'm working on at the moment. I can now officially say I have the moniker of a professional DM. I've got my first actual paid job playing D&D with a bunch of newbies on Sunday, so I'm super excited about that. And thank you all for coming and watching and enjoying this wild trip with us. Snorgan? Don't know if I'm in with that, but anyway.
We shall see.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean that was amazing as always. Always find you absolutely brilliant, and yeah, I agree with that. And super happy to hear about that as well. I hope that goes well for you as well.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, no worries. And right, okay, moving on to our totally not religious or superstitious at all, Mordecai.
Fire in your fucking face, and you still don't deny it.
Or is he just suppressing deep emotions? Who knows? Hi guys, how you doing? I'm Rocksteady. I've been playing Mordecai this evening. You can find me as Rocksteady17 on Twitter. I've just bought a load of new like mini making stuff, so mostly reviving my old toolkit because all my paint and cement, so that's been fun. Cheap. So I'll be posting a lot there more often now. Now I'm actually getting back into the flow of actually flexing those creative muscles again. So fingers crossed you'll be starting seeing some models coming out now and again that I've thrown paint at. I can't really call it painting because that would imply some skill, so I'm going to go with throwing paint at. This evening, I don't know, it's been a really cool roleplay heavy evening, and I really love how everybody's improv bounces off, each other's input and that. So the stories everybody shared at the beginning with the backstories and stuff, that was cool. I really enjoyed that. My favourite personal character moment was probably Mordecai's rant about Wendigos, pixies, goblins, tree ents, elementals.
Yeah, I love that.
And anything else, and anybody else wants to intervene, by all means, come down and have a conversation because I don't see Mordecai being too receptive to that one. But I think my favourite character moment was definitely the nice little touching bit between Snips and Morgan.
That was lovely. Right, brilliant. Well, thank you for playing as always. As always, Mordecai is an absolute joy to have in the party. And
man, thanks for running, dude. It's
always
cool.
Good. No problem at all. And right, so last but not least, a man of the hour, man of many fan arts, a whole one. And okay, so Jonny.
Well, hi everyone. Still Gene. I'm still playing Jonny.
It's good. That's a relief.
Still no social media. Favorite part, I really liked the ghost. The ghost was really well done, very well told. I'm digging these supernatural stuffs coming in slowly as we go, because that's fun. Ghosts are fun, and monsters and all that thing. That's always a fun time.
Oh yeah.
So that was definitely my favorite part. And I just want to give a quick shout out again to all the people that watch. My girlfriend, who made that super good piece of art. She's a very talented woman, so I'm a lucky dude.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that. All right,
Yeah,
so yeah, it was really cool.
Was ace, by the way. Like,
love the fan art, so thank you very much for that. It's amazing. I love the horse and the explosion in the background. I was just like, yeah, that's cool. That captures Jonny, I think.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Like, they ride away on Black Mustang.
Yeah.
And speaking of riding away, we're going to depart now, but I'm a Hollow Tale. I was your marshal for today, storyteller, whatever you want to call it, DM. And yeah, it's been brilliant to run for these people as usual, and awesome as always to see all of you in the chat and to be interacting with you. This game is an absolute joy to run, and we've got 2 more sessions of this season left at the very least, so let's see how this rounds up. And yeah, until then, you'll find me here every Monday at 8:30 p.m. UK, which I think is 3:30 EDT, running a D&D game, D&D 5th edition. It's a pirate game set in the realms of Ravenloft in an original Realm of Dread, which is called Mistborn, which is always a fun blast. And on the same time, next Saturday, I'll be running my Unhallowed Metropolis game, which is a Victorian post-apocalyptic horror game. And they're just about to get to Sheffield, which in itself is a terrifying fate. So,
whoa, Sheffield? Oh no! Oh,
I did go to Sheffield.
Sheffield. Oh,
So
grief.
until next time, I've been Hollowtail. You've all been brilliant. Find me on Hollowtail at YouTube, youtube.com/Hollowtail, where you can see any of the other episodes of this show and any of the other shows. There's a link in the chat. And until then, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.